So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new bail office added to GTA Online as part of the Bottom Dollar Bounty DLC. So first things first, if you're wondering where to get this business, it's available for purchase on the Foreclosures Mazebank site along with all the other businesses. There are 4 available to choose from in the city and 1 in Palito Bay. Now, although the Palito Bay one is the cheapest, I really would not recommend buying this because every time you start up a mission, the game will probably have you driving back and forth from the city, and it's also miles away from everything and pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, the most expensive one will cost you around $2.6 million without any upgrades, so we're going to go ahead and purchase it. Now, when it comes to the upgrades, most of them won't really be of much use, for example the gun locker, the personal headquarters and style. However, the 2 agents, which we'll cover later, do offer some improvements, but they are very expensive. So we purchased the business and now we're going to go over how it works. When you enter, you'll of course be greeted with some long boring cutscene as you are with all new businesses, which unfortunately you can't skip. Once the cutscene has ended, you can now make your way over to this computer, and when you log on, you'll see there are 4 bounty missions to choose from. 3 of them offering a reward between 35 to 40k, and the 4th offering somewhere between 120 to 130k. Now, how do these missions work? Well, the first 3 are pretty much the same principle, in the sense that you basically drive to a certain location, clear out the enemies, find and secure the bounty, put them in the back of the van, and then drive them back to the bail office. And the 4th one will be a bit more challenging and slightly longer to complete, but by no means difficult. So let's go over these missions. To do each one, you'll be using this van right here. Now luckily you won't have to buy this van, it will just come with the business. So simply just choose which one you want to do and then start up the mission. Now these missions do vary slightly from one another, but they are very similar. So we're going to go ahead and start one. First things first, you'll need to drive the van to where the bounty is located. Some will be relatively close within the city and others will be miles away in Palito Bay. Now you might be wondering, can you use any other vehicle such as a personal vehicle? Unfortunately no, you do have to use this van, which isn't terrible in terms of top speed, but it certainly won't win you any races. And another thing with this van is because it has these ledges that stick out, if you sideswipe a car they tend to get hooked and you'll probably end up spinning out, which can be really annoying as you can see. Anyways, once you reach the target, they'll be surrounded by a group of enemies. So just clear them out and then you can go ahead and capture them. Now, it's important that you don't kill the target because although you won't fail the mission for it, its value will decrease to 25% of the original price, as you can see here. And instead of delivering them to the bail office, you'll have to drive them to the morgue. So how do you capture the target? Well, one way you can do it is by using a taser to incapacitate them, or if you don't have a taser, you can just run up to them and start punching them until they surrender, and once they do, press right on the D-pad to secure them. Now, one important thing during these missions is it's a good idea to have snacks because you're attempting to capture a target that's probably going to be shooting at you, so you will take some damage. So once you've captured them, your character will put them in the back of the van, and then all you need to do is drive them back to the bail office. But do watch out for enemies along the way. Now, once you deliver them to the bail office, you won't receive the payment immediately. Instead, you'll have to wait around 20 minutes. But the good thing is there's no cooldown time between these missions, so once you've delivered the target, you can just start up another mission straight away. So let's go over a few things. Firstly, the payment is fixed, and what I mean by that is that you won't receive any more or any less depending on how you complete the mission, unless you end up killing the target. Also, there's no set amount of lives, so it doesn't matter if you die a few times, you won't fail the mission and your payment won't decrease. So you don't need to worry too much about the enemies killing you. And that's pretty much it in terms of these bounty missions. They're all very straightforward and easy, but what about the 4th one? Well, again, it isn't really that different to the first 3. The only difference is that you have to load into a mission as opposed to doing it in free mode, and you'll also have a set amount of lives. In terms of difficulty, there'll be a few more enemies to deal with, but the principle is pretty much the same. Go somewhere, kill the enemies, capture the target, and deliver them back to the bail office. Only this time you'll receive a lot more money. And that really is it for these missions. They're very straightforward and don't really need a long-winded explanation. Now, one thing you might be wondering is what happens when you complete all 4 bounties? Once you've completed them, you have to wait around 48 minutes for them to reset, and then you'll have 4 new bounties to capture, and these will basically be the same as the previous 4. So there you have it, that's pretty much everything when it comes to these bounty missions. The most important thing is that you don't kill the target, otherwise you will lose 3/4 of the profit. Now, let's talk about the agents. To purchase them, this will cost you quite a lot, 1.5 million to be exact, so they must be pretty useful, right? Well, unfortunately, this doesn't seem to be the case. So, what do they actually do? Pretty much what they do is decrease the processing time for each bounty capture, which means instead of having to wait 20 minutes, you only have to wait around 5 minutes to receive your payment. And also, another thing that they do is something called bail enforcement work, where you send them away to make some extra profit. How much profit exactly? about 10,000 at best. So to sum it up, they're pretty fucking useless. So yeah, unless you've got some extra cash lying around, I really wouldn't recommend buying these agents, because although they do speed up the time for which you get paid, you're still receiving the same amount. But anyways, I think that pretty much covers everything in terms of the bail office as a business. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, and if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.